problem number 1, the fish kill mystery. You've all read it, so you know the background, which is basically that there's lots and lots of fish, actually millions of fish pop up dead in this estuary. So we want to know why. We don't know why. So our assignment then, based on this problem, is to figure out how they're dying. So if you were to do that, if you were one of the girls in this car or some other situation, how would you do that? How would you find out why all these fish are dead? Yeah?
Yeah, like apply the whole scientific method of first observing what the problem is and then moving on to creating hypothesis about that, move on to making predictions and then testing the predictions until you get a result that supports your hypothesis.
Okay, excellent. So you're ahead of the game here. I was going to say I would use the scientific method. Very good. Now, let's just review really quick, although you did a wonderful review of the scientific method for us. Now, these are the steps that kind of make up what we know as the scientific method. These are just general, this is a general outline, and not all scientists use this extremely rigidly. It actually looks a little bit more like this, okay, where you have this central core of questions, and then in order to get at those questions and to answer them, there are several things that certain scientists do, and under certain situations they'll do one first or the other first. And so it's more like an interconnected ball of things that are happening around these questions to get at the answers. But if you look here, most of those steps are still in here. Observations and defining a problem, questions, testing those. But you have other things like communicating with others, investigating the known, investigating the unknown, articulating the expectation. So this is more realistic as far as what the scientific method is really like. But for our purposes, we're going to use this diagram here and these steps to work ourselves through it. And then throughout the semester, this is the kind of the same framework that we're going to use, and we may deviate from it a little bit, kind of like this other diagram shows. But we're going to get used to it by going through these steps here. So let's do that. What observations were made? Now, sometimes this is it's obvious. We're just stating the obvious, but it's in order to get us thinking in the way that the scientific method works. Okay, so what were the observations that were made? Yeah.
Well, the first one was when they were driving, they could smell the fish.
Okay.
They just smelled the foul smell, I guess. And then after stopping and looking, they noticed that there were dead fish floating on top and some had washed up on the...
Okay, yeah. So the observation was, oh, it stinks. And then the next was, hey, there's lots of dead fish. Okay, so there's our observation. Very simple. What was the question?
How did they die?
Why? Yeah, pretty simple. Why? And that's often the question.